Jakarta resident Suban Palal has filed a 125 trillion rupiah civil suit against Vice President Gibran Rakabuming Raka and the KPU, arguing Gibran's foreign secondary schooling doesn't meet Indonesia SLTA atau sederajat wording for presidential or vice presidential candidates. The case opened at the Central Jakarta District Court on 8 September 2025 and has stirred a fresh round of diploma politics. Stay with us as we unpack the legal basis, the KPU stance, and what happens next. The government says smart digital screens will reach 330,000 schools by end of 2025, part of President Prabowo's rapid digital learning drive. Some statements describe one per class, others one per school. Official briefings still center on the 330K rollout this year. We'll track the target, the timeline since May 2025 pilots, and what classrooms actually receive. Next, how this intersects with a viral video controversy in cinemas. A special presidential envoy for tourism, Zita Anjani, has apologized after failing to appear as keynote speaker at Universitas Pajajaran's Magister Pariwisata Seminar on 26 June 2025. The incident reignited this week when a gym post surfaced and alumni demanded accountability. Zita says the post was a scheduled late upload and calls the last-minute cancellation our mistakes. We lay out the timeline, what UNPAD says, and what standards apply to presidential conveys. Good evening, I am Teguh Tri Ananda. You've just heard the top headlines. Now let's dive deeper. Stay with us here on What's Up Today, where we bring you the stories shaping Indonesia and the world. We begin with a headline that blends law and optics. A 125 trillion rupiah lawsuit targeting the vice president's high school credentials. Subhan Palal says Gibran's Singapore-Australia pathway isn't the same as an Indonesian SMA. The KPU say it verified documents according to the rules. The court will decide which reading of the law stands. We'll lay out the facts, the timetable, and why the figure is so large. And speaking of the presidency, right after this, we'll look at the President Prabowo's smart TV rollout in schools. Another policy flashpoint.
On Monday, 8 September 2025, the Central Jakarta District Court registered case number 583 PDT.G 2025 PN Jakarta Pusat, a civil lawsuit filed by Suban Palal against Vice President Gibran Rakabuming Raka, tergugat 1, and the KPU, tergugat 2. The claim, Gibran does not have an SMA or sederajat diploma conducted under Indonesian law, so his 2025 candidacy was invalid. The requested damages, 125 trillion rupiah, are to be paid to the state, not to the plaintiff personally. CNN Indonesia and the TICOM report the courtroom agenda opened this week with legal standing examination. Gibran was represented by the State Attorney Team, JPN. The session was then postponed with the judge panel led by Budi Prayitno. What is the legal hinge? The plaintiff reads SLTA or sederajat in the election law narrowly, arguing foreign qualifications require explicit equivalency. The KPU answers that verification already followed the relevant regulation for candidate documents. Tempo has noted the KPU's view that no Bawaslu or PTUN or MK ruling ever found fault with this verification. Context has escalated publicly on 12 September 2025 in Solo. Former President Joko Widodo, Gibran's father, said the family would serve all legal process while joking the debate might go as far as his grandson, Jan Ethes' diploma. He also confirmed he placed Gibran at Orchid Park Secondary School in Singapore to make him independent. As for why only Gibran is sued, the filings target the KPU's verification of Gibran's paperwork in the 2025 vice presidential nomination. They do not allege a similar KPU process issue for the president. That's a litigation choice, not a court finding. The next hearings will test whether Sederajat includes foreign secondary pathways the KPU deemed acceptable in 2024. From Jakarta, the Media Publikasi News Team reporting for WhatsApp Today.
What does SLTA or sederajat mean in practice? In Indonesia election law, candidates must have finished senior secondary school or its equivalent. Many Indonesians study abroad, so agencies rely on document verification and, where needed, equivalency processes. The suit argues the KPU stretched that term too far for Gibran. The KPU says it applied the rules as written in 2024 and there has been no corrective ruling from Bawaslu, PTUN or the Constitutional Court. The 1.25 trillion rupiah tax shocks audiences. Reporting indicates the number is framed as a public loss calculation, symbolic and meant for the state coffers rather than a personally payday. Still, a court must decide both liability and any damages. Politically, the case revives diploma disputes that have swirled around the Jokowi era and now touch his son. Practically, the court will parse statutes, ministerial regulation, and prior verification steps. The timeline will matter. The registration late August, first session at September, and any postponements will shape momentum. For viewers, the key is this: whichever side you favor, follow the rulings, not the noise. Bottom line, one praise SLTA atau sederajat now carries the weight of a 1 to 5 trillion rupiah argument and a vice president's legitimacy debate. The court's calendar, not social media, will set the pace. After the break, we shift from courtrooms to classrooms. The government's smart TV push who gets one, when, and what it costs. Stay with us. From court fillings to classroom, President Prabowo has made digital teaching tools a flagship, smart TV units to beam lessons, enable remote support, even monitor empty classes. The stated target, 330,000 schools supplied by year-end 2025. But there's one wrinkle. Some quotes mention every class, other every school. Tonight, we separate the claim from the deliverables, including what Kemendikbud says about passing and content. Then we bridge to a different kind of screen, a video about government achievements playing before commercial films, and the Istana's response.
Since May 2025, education authorities have rolled out smart digital screens to schools, scaling nationwide through 2025 to 2026. In recent briefings, President Prabowo framed the devices as interactive screens with cameras that let central instructors support classes with teachers' short ages. He also emphasized always-on learning content. Antara quote him describing the ability to see classes without teachers and intervene an efficiency and equity pitch tied to learning recovery. How many and how fast? Detik and CNN Indonesia report a 330,000 school target to be completed by the end of 2025. Tempo's reporting includes language about 1 unit per class, suggesting an eventual density higher than 1 per school. Though official counts this month still revolve around the 330,000 rollout figure for this year. We present those as reported range, target coverage per school now with per class as an aspirational endpoint. Budget and pipeline, public speech have linked the program to broader digitalization, with prior notes around 288,000 units circulating in mid-August. That number has since been updated upward in multiple briefings. Procurement and content provisioning run through education agencies. Complementary smart board initiatives were flagged at Hardiknas on 2 May 2025. Delivery started months ago and is slated to reach remote areas first, according to ministry statements and press notes. What should families expect? In the near term, schools receive a single interactive screen, not take-home TVs. The promise is shared teaching resources, recorded lessons, and better coverage for 3T regions, contingent on power, bandwidth, and teacher training. Watch for district-level receiving lists and acceptance tests as the clearest proof of progress. From Jakarta, the Media Publikasi News Team reporting for WhatsApp Today.
Two things can be true. Indonesia needs scalable teaching support, and hardware alone won't fix learning gaps. If the 330K target is met, coverage will be broad, but the impact depends on the content quality, teacher training, maintenance, and connectivity. The camera-enabled model can help supervisory oversight, useful where teachers are scarce, but it must protect student privacy and be used to mentor, not punish. Cost matter. The shift from smartboard language in May to smart TV digital screens by September suggests evolving procurement and specs. Parents should look for school announcements that list units delivered, apps usable offline, and local training schedules. If you hear 1 per class, ask for dates and shipment counts. This month's firm number is the 330K rollout by end 2025. With some official framing a longer term and state of every class equipped. New screens can widen access if the lessons on them are good. The internet is stable and teachers are supported. We'll keep checking who receives what and when. Coming up, another screen story, a video on the government's achievements reportedly played before films in commercial theaters. What does the palace say? Don't go anywhere. Right after the break, we'll be back with more updates. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching What's Up Today. If you missed the start, you can always catch the full program on Film Medan's YouTube channel. Let's continue with the news. From classroom screens to cinema screens. Over the weekend, social media lit up with posts claiming a Prabowo achievements. Video appeared before feature films. Today, the palace responded, the use of public venues for government information can be legitimate, they said, provided norms and regulations are followed. Let's pin down what happened, what's confirmed, and what remains unclear, including who placed the buy, what disclosures were shown, and whether any media regulators will review it.
On Sunday, 14 September 2025, Business reported that videos summarizing President Prabowo's year-to-date work have run as pre-roll content in some theaters. The Minister of State Secretariat Prasetyo Hadi addressed the viral post, saying using cinemas to communicate government programs is permissible so long as it stays within regulation. Liputan 6 carried a similar explanation and note audience surprised since pre-rolls are typically trailers or partner ads. What's confirmed versus alleged? Multiple outlets cite viral uploads and eyewitness accounts. The palace acknowledges the video and frames it as informational content. What's not yet fully transparent is technical. Which distributor booked the slots, whether theaters labeled the clips clearly as government information, and how long the campaign will run. If formal complaints reach Kominfo or the Film Censorship Board, we'd expect guidance on labeling and placement, comparable to public service announcements in other venues. This is not the first big screen showcase. During the 15 August 2025 MPR sessions, a government achievement. This is not the first big screens. This is not the first big screen showcase. During the 15 August 2025 MPR sessions, a government achievements video was played before the president's address on a state dais. The difference here is the commercial context, paying audience in private theaters. The immediate test will be disclosure and frequency. Do viewers see who sponsored the message and how often does it run? From Jakarta, the Media Publikasi News team reporting for What's Up Today.
Public interest messages appear across media, TV, radio, transit screens, billboards. Cinemas sit in a gray area. They are private venues but host captive audiences. If a government clip plays there, two standards matter. First, legality. Procurement and content must meet advertising and information publishing laws. Second, transparency. Viewers should know who's paying and why. The palace line today is allowed if within rules. That points to disclosure, duration caps, and content neutrality checks. For viewers, two practical questions: was the clip clearly identified as government information, and did it display safety briefing or film rating cards? Theaters can manage both by slotting such pieces alongside standard ads with sponsor tags. If you experience otherwise, file a note with the cinema operator and, if needed, Kominfo's complaint channel. We'll keep an eye on any regulator guidance this week. Screens are our theme tonight. Card documents on one screen, smart glasses on another, and now cinema pre-rolls. Expect more debate as the government experiments with where and how it speaks. After the break, more national updates and service info you can use. Stay with us. We've moved from cinema etiquette to public duty. After the pre-roll controversy in theaters, another optic test, a presidential invoice keeping a campus stage. Unpad students prepared more lit posted and acknowledging poor coordination. Tonight, we walk through dates, quotes, and responses from alumni. Then we pivot to something that could help young people plan the government's paid internship stimulus for fresh graduates.
The issue centers on the Magister Pariwisata Makpar seminar at Universitas Pajajaran Unpad, scheduled for 26 June 2025, with special presidential envoy for tourism Zita Anjani billed as keynote. Organizers say the envoy cancelled close to showtime. Days ago, the story resurfaced when a gym post went viral. In a statement posted on 12 September 2025, Zita apologized. The last-minute cancellation was our mistake. Adding the gym content was a previously scheduled late post as summarized the flap and apology. Pikiran Rakyat highlight organizers' disappointment. TV1 News relayed Zita's account that a prior engagement overran, and several social posts from Unpad link accounts documented the timeline. A number of alumni groups publicly urge higher standards for officials who accept academic invitations. What is confirmed versus claim? Confirm the 26 June event listing, the no-show, and the 12 September apology. Claimed by Zita, the viral gym upload was not contemporaneous, but scheduled. Reported by alumni, preparations were extensive and cancellation communication arrived late. None of the reports suggest criminal conduct. This is an expectations gap about professionalism, disclosure, and respect for campus time. The gap is protocol, clear cancellation cutoffs, backup remote options, and labeled social posts to avoid confusion. For invoice, who speak in a quasi-official capacity, those checks are part of the job.
Utusan khusus Presiden roles vary, but they sit close to the government's message. When such an envoy accepts a campus podium, they carry two hats, speaker and public official, so norms tighten, confirm early, communicate changes quickly, and avoid mixed signal online. In this case, the envoy says the gym post was scheduled late upload, not a live class. Alumni say the communication came too late to protect student effort. Both statements can be true, and both point to better protocol. Best practice is simple. Name a liaison with authority to cancel. Set a firm cutoff, example 24 to 48 hours, and if any social content could be misread, label it short last week or scheduled post for universities. Keep a standby plan, pre-taped remarks or a substitute panel, so the event still delivers value. For the public, the metric is not perfection, it's whether officials handle commitments with clarity. Apologize matter, but systems matter more. If this incident tightened protocols for future campus events, that's progress. After the break, something tangible for a young job seeker, a 6-month paid internship stimulus the government says will launch in Q4 to help fresh graduates bridge to full-time work. Staying with accountability, but now the constructive kind of opportunities for young people. The government has trailed a Q4 stimulus with paid internship for fresh graduates. 6 months in industry wages mandated and coordination with Kadin for placement. The Finance Ministry is aligning budget posts. We'll stick to the stated facts, the timeline since early September, and what remains to be decided. After this, we move to a very different investigation. The Hajj quota probe and 5-day payment window now under KPK scrutiny.
Coordinating Economic Minister Airlangga Hartanto says a new stimulus package will include paid internships for fresh graduates, designed as a 6-month placement with employer stipends. Not full salary, but paid. He told business leaders the government will work with Kadin to organize host companies, and that he would report the proposal to President Prabowo. Finance Minister Purbaya Yudisadewa has been consulted to prepare budget lines. These statements were given across 4 to 12 September and reiterated through the weekend. Antara CNBC Indonesia, Kontan, and Berita Satu report the program sits inside a broader Q4 Q1 stimulus mix that also features targeted tax measures. Several outlets summarize the coverage target, fresh graduates, and the expected internship duration of 6 months, with implementation beginning in the fourth quarter of 2025. Exact stipend bands and placement quotas have not been published. Ministries say details will be finalized with industry before rolled out. What should viewers expect next? Look for 1. A formal decree or technical guidelines defining eligibility, graduation window, age, sectors. 2. A sign-up channel, likely via a government portal and Kadin partners. 3. Wage guidance and co-funding rules. And 4. Monitoring, so interns aren't replacing staff roles. Officials stress the scheme is about productivity and matching skills to vacancies, not free labor. From Jakarta, the Media Publikasi News Team reporting for What's Up Today.
Paid internships can open doors If designed well, the core guardrails are paid even if below full salary, learning goals, and a pathway to full-time roles. Indonesia already runs student-oriented placement under campus programs. This new scheme targets recent graduates still seeking their first job, with government and employers sharing the load. Watch for transparency on selection, sector quotas, and grievance channels. For families, the checklist is simple. Confirm the internship length, 6 months, check whether travel or housing support exists, and verify who pays what. For businesses, the upside is fresh talent and co-funded training. The risk is churn if supervision is light. For the state, the test is speed without slippage. Launch in Q4, publish rules, and publish results. If those boxes are ticked, internship become bridges, not waiting rooms. From internships to integrity, the Corruption Eradication Commission (KPK) is probing how special Hajj quota seats in 2024 moved so quickly. From announcement to sold out, that a 5-day payment window may have pushed up people already queuing for years. Tonight, we track KPK statements, what the deadline meant, and why prices seated at travel agencies have drawn outrage. After this, we'll head to Gorontalo for a safety note. For Lombongo waterfall viewers, after this break, we will be back with more exciting news. Stay tuned. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us on What's Up today. For those of you who have just joined, you can also follow the full program on Field Medan's YouTube channel. From internship to integrity, the Corruption Eradication Commission, or KPK, is probing how special Hajj quota seats in 2024 move so quickly. From announcement to sold out, that a 5-day payment window may have pushed up people already queuing for years. Tonight, we track KPK statements, what the deadline meant, and why prices seated at travel agencies have drawn outrage. After this, we'll head to Gorontalo for a safety note from Lombongo waterfall.
On 12 September 2025, KPK spokesman Budi Prasetyo said investigators are reviewing an alleged scam in which special quota pilgrims who registered before 2024 were given just 5 working days to settle payments. Investigators suspect the compressed window allow remaining seats to be reallocated and sold through Haji, plus operators able to pay fees quickly. KPK has examined ministry officials, including data unit heads, and is tracing how 2024's additional quota decrees were drafted and executed. CNN Indonesia and Detik report that KPK is testing 2 links. First, timing the content of decisions that created the 2024 additional quota. Second, how the payment windows were communicated to those already in line. Detik cites anti-corruption groups describing the 5-day window as a predatory design, while Pukat UGM says the pattern could support swift suspect naming if the evidence holds. A parallel concern is pricing. KPK told reporters that travel agencies offered special quota seats at varied prices, with some sales reported as high as 300 to 400 million rupiah, figures far above regular costs. This week's questioning aims to link policy to outcome, who knew, who benefited, and whether the window breached fairness rules for registered pilgrims. As of tonight, no suspects have been named. The case has entered the investigation phase with witnesses still being called. From Jakarta, the Media Publikasi News team reporting for What's Up Today.
Indonesia allocates Hajj seats across regular and khusus special pathway. A sudden 5-day payment deadline can tilt the field. Families who've queued for years may miss the bank window, while operators with cash on hand can snap seats for clients. If proven, the practice injures trust, not only wallets. KPK is following the paper trail, decrease on extra quota, notices to registrant, payment channel, and salts by private PIHK. What should Pure watch? First, whether KPK names specific official or operators. Second, whether the Religious Affairs Ministry revises payment notices or freezes reallocation practices pending the probe. And third, any restitution for pilgrims displaced by the window. Until then, treat viral price lists cautiously and rely on official updates from KPK and the ministry. Evidence, not noise, will decide this case. The heart of pilgrimage is patience. Policy should honor that. We'll keep tracking formal findings, not rumors. After the break, we head to Bone Bolango, Gorontalo. Rescuers evacuate a Dutch tourist from Lombongo waterfall with a reminder on trail safety for visitors. Stay with us. Prey zones. We've teed this up since the last segment, from national progress to a rescue in nature. In Bone Bolango, Gorontalo, a 68-year-old tourist from the Netherlands slept at Lombongo waterfall on Saturday. The evacuation took time. Terrain was steep, the path was wet, and daylight was limited. Tonight, we map what happened, who responded, and where the patient has been treated. After this service update, we'll close the program with a reminder on safe hiking near waterfall across Sulawesi.
On Saturday, 13 September 2025, a Dutch national identified by local press as Johannes Antoni, 68, fell at Lombongo waterfall in Desa Lombongo, Suwawa Tengah District, Bone Bolango Regency, Gorontalo. Witnesses told reporters he slipped while approaching the cascade with companions around the afternoon period. The victim suffered a fracture to the left thigh and leg. According to the Gorontalo Search and Rescue Office, the victim slipped and fell, suffering a femoral fracture, said Herianto, head of the Gorontalo SAR office. Rescuers from Basarnas Gorontalo and local teams trekked into the forested trail amid rain and mud to immobilize the injury and move the patient out by stretcher. Video and photos from the scene show the joint SAR team navigating narrow, slick paths and crossing runoff near the falls. After several hours, the victim was transported to Professor Dr. Alois Saboe Regional General Hospital in Gorontalo City for further treatment and imaging. Local and national outlets published consistent core facts on Sunday, 14 September. The incident date, Saturday, 13 September. Location, Lombongo Waterfall, Bone Bolango. Injury, left leg fracture. Multi-agency evacuation and hospital destination, RSUD Alois Saboe. As of airtime, there are no reports of life-threatening complications. Authorities have not released detailed travel or insurance information. Companions assisted first response while contacting SAR. From Bone Bolango, the Media Publikasi news team reporting for What's Up Today.
Lombongo Waterfall, Suwawa Tengah. To speed dispatch for operators, clearer wayfinding handlines on steeper steps and posted risk signage go a long way. The hospital named in reports Alois Saboe Regional handles a trauma for Gorontalo City. Visitors should keep ID, policy numbers, and emergency contacts accessible. Respect the trail and it tends to respect you back. Glad this one ended with a rescue with treatment underway. For those planning Lombongo or any waterfall trek, treat wet rock like ice and plan your exit while you're still fresh. That's our final service note for tonight. More updates and fewer advisories will be in tomorrow's rundown. Until then, stay safe on the trail and stay tuned for our next edition. That wraps up today's edition of What's Up Today. On behalf of our news team, I'm Teguh Tri Ananda signing off. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share our program so more people can stay informed. See you in the next broadcast right here on channel Media Publikasi.